Southeast Radio's morning mix.
Southeast Radio.
Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Southeast. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Happy Halloween.
Are you the official ghost hunter or ghost buster there, Anthony? This is a fascinating story. When did you first become interested in something like this?
Well, I suppose when I was a young child, my father, who's passed away there, but he used to tell me stories of the Banshee and folklore about the Jack-o'-lantern. He used to tell me these ghost stories, and it kind of, instead of scaring me, I had a really bit of an interest in it. My dad was Irish, he was from Galway there, and we came back about 25 years ago here to Ireland to live. But before that, I remember watching a program called Ghost Watch. Many of your listeners may have recognised this. It was a show starring Michael Parkinson and Sarah Green. It aired on the BBC, and you can get it in some other broadcasting stations as well, still today. Right. But it scared the life out of me, and it was supposed to be real, a haunting at a house associated with a mother and her two girls. And that frightened the hell out of me. It was supposed to be real, but then the BBC had to confirm days later that it wasn't real, that it was all staged. But that progressed to probably Most Haunted, starring Yvette Fielding and Dr. Kieran O'Keefe, Derek Acora, and that piqued my interest even more around the 2000s. And then when my rugby career finished, then probably in the late 2009, I decided to start a paranormal group here in County Kerry.
I see. Now, you have visited Wexford, and can you share a particularly memorable or unexplained experience while you've been in Wexford? Where did you go and what did you come across?
We visited a location called the Athenaeum Theatre in Enniscorthy there, and we got what would seem to be a woman's voice coming over the recordings, a digital sound recorder.
Yeah.
And it's called electronic voice phenomenon when this happens there. And it seemed to be a woman's voice saying, can you move over? And we were talking about, are you able to be seated at the theatre? We got that there. Now, the place has been reputedly haunted for frequent activity, such as doors banging, being touched, lights switching on and off, shadow figures. The explainable part of it is, because we are paranormal investigators, we have to look for the logical side of it, is that there's the acoustics, the sound vibrates around the theatre, the hall. So when people are calling out, common occurrences is that whistles are heard. And I suppose when people are whistling, these sounds reverberate back into our ears again. Yeah. Shawnee Power was a gentleman who allowed us in there. I'd like to say give thanks to him. But Athenaeum is many paranormal teams visit it, and they have got credible evidence to suggest there is an afterlife survival. Another place we've done is Hook Head Lighthouse many years ago there, believed to be constructed by William Marshall in around 1245 AD. And that is because there's loads of shipwrecks around the area. I don't know if these shipwrecks were deliberately made as well, because of looting and collecting cargo deliberately or by mistake as well. But they seem to be in essence of what you could say is what's the word? An essence of being
surrounded by spirit. Yeah.
Well, surrounded by spirits, but also they were horrified to what they have done. I suppose there was because of the people dying as well off the coast. But anyway, there was a spirit called Frank that came in, and he seemed to be kind of drunk. And he gave the year of the 1500s to when he was lived.
Yeah. Have you come across evil spirits at all?
Evil spirits. Well, I wouldn't classify any spirits as being evil. I suppose it's how we interpret it as being evil. First of all, there's environmental factors you have to take into consideration in a building. If I was to be asked to evaluate or see how a building is or how a haunting is, I would have to see what is around the area first, not just in the house, but around it as well, because there's so many contributing factors. Now, it's not reported that things like infrasound or electric field or magnetic field can cause haunting phenomena, but it is, if you can count those things out, then you might be able to actually everything else out. And if the person is really legit, then there could be a case for any haunting phenomena. But with anything evil, we haven't come across that, but we've come across times like it close by in a theatre in Waterford, where I felt that was a spirit come through me and used my vocals.
Right.
Yeah, and that was very interesting. Now, I could have gone the other way of saying that I was possessed, but because of a positive mind, I thought it was channeling, and I continued that on, and it's like a type of transmediumship now, which I can use in further investigations.
Are you fully convinced that that spirit you came across at the Athenaeum was an usher in the bygone era inviting you to sit down, or some form of manager? Or do you remain convinced that was spirit? Yeah, that's
it. I think it was an usher there. You know, I think they were corresponding to an usher, and that's what we were getting. Yeah, the lady coming in. There was other factors in there, but that voice, it seemed to be a dialogue of about 4 to 5 words. Now, if people want to check it out, it's on our EVP page on our website, GhostÉire.net. But it's like a dialogue of about 3 to 5 words. And if once you get a dialogue like that, not just a quick reply like yes or no or go away, then it is something credible, and it's an oddity, which was worth. It was a female voice, and it seemed to be unusual to reply back in that way after somebody's asked a question. And it wasn't anything bad there or anything unusual there, but also shadows are seen. And I know that could be attributed to the emergency exit lighting, as we're trying to see with our own eyes what is around. Our brain is trying to register it, but there is that we did hear weird bangs, and there was one stage I think that one of the chairs moved as well.
In the Athenaeum. In the Athenaeum, yeah.
In the Athenaeum, yes, in the Athenaeum. Now, Shawnee's a great man. He's a good person there. He knows that there's also Enniscorthy Castle, which is next door. Everybody would know that.
Okay.
And there's also Vinegar Hill. So there's so much history around that area that would have if it is to do with trauma and death that associates with hauntings, then definitely Enniscorthy would be one place there.
Right. Okay, look, it's lovely to talk to you today, Anthony. I know you have an upcoming paranormal documentary series. Are there any investigations that really stood out during the filming?
Well, yes, we've had a team in from actually Wexford, the Paragirls.Ireland, and they came to a location we did in Yarl, which wasn't too far from County Wexford there. And what we got through during the investigation, I won't reveal too much there, but as close connections with the Battle of Vinegar Hill, and that time in 1798 around, and there was a lot of uneasiness around, and you could feel the build-up like it is now today, unfortunately, in the Middle East. But we got that this show's called Phantasm Collective, and it'll be out on broadcasting stations soon. I can't reveal too much there when it will be out. Yeah. Hopefully it will be in the next couple of months. But also we did a convention last year in New Ross, Day of the Unexplained, and my colleague Mary Nolan as well from Back in Time Paranormal Investigators. She's based in Wexford. So there's a few teams, if any listeners are there looking to start joining the paranormal team or have an interest, you can contact Back in Time Paranormal Investigators, Paragirls.Ireland, or Shawnee Power as well, who's connected to Athenaeum Museum.
Southeast Radio's morning mix.
Southeast Radio.